We will call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Wow, is that like 2 in a row?
Oh, Kip.
Is that right? Did I get that right? Is it 2 in a row?
Missed the last time.
Oh, really? Is that 2 in a row? Okay. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Wait a minute, there's
Oh,
an
oh, oh.
error. Under letter of engagement, it says Bolton and Mink rather than Mink.
Oh, every time, it's autocorrect, it does that to me every time. Okay, I'll get that changed. It doesn't like, they have to change their mink, yeah, so, thank you,
Motion
Joe.
still stands.
Okay, motion.
With
the
correction.
corrections.
With
With
that
the
correction.
corrections. Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Claims?
Claims this evening are in the amount of $586,059.94.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on regular operators licenses.
Tonight, you are being asked to recommend approval of operators' licenses for the period of April 23rd, 2019 to June 30th, 2020, to Andrew Collins, Kendra Filla, Madison Hemauer, Jonathan Kazabowski, John Laumau, Dalu, Taylor Reither, Stephen Shade, and Adam Valentine.
Move to approve the contingent upon successful completion of background check and payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on regular operator, oh no, we did that. Discussion possible action for letter of engagement for engineering services for preparation of 2019 sidewalk and pedestrian curb ramp assessment.
Good evening, everyone, Finance Committee. So I brought forward tonight is a request to utilize sidewalk replacement funds in the CIP to use to create a sidewalk and pedestrian ramp assessment of the entire city. Currently, we don't have an idea of the sidewalks that are in severe disrepair. We've been replacing on a kind of a call-in basis. People call in and complain about a sidewalk being, having cracks or being heaved or so on and so forth. And it's been more kind of a reactive approach to our sidewalk replacement schedule. And so what I'm looking to do is utilize our latest edition of the ArcGIS software to hire SEH to perform engineering services. And what that means is they would come in here and they would walk every single mile of our sidewalk system. It's 38 miles of sidewalks total in the city. And they would collect data points on a GIS system, which we can then download into our GIS system, which then we can use to identify the most severe hazard spots. We can use it for budgeting. We can use it for when we're doing bids, so on and so forth. So in the packet that I kind of prepared for you, just gave it to you here before the meeting. Sorry, I didn't get it in the packet, but if you flip the page, a lot of bigger communities are using this collection service. The City of Hopkins did one just recently as part of their American with Disabilities Act transition plan. And in the map, you see kind of some squares, you see some blue triangles, you see some green circles, and it would our sidewalk assessment would look similar to this. We would have different colored icons indicating the severity of the sidewalk. So like, let's just say we would come up with a matrix. So every sidewalk that has a 2-inch lift or more would get a red one. That would be like a severe hazard, trip hazard. We want to get those replaced as soon as possible. And that would go on down, so on and so forth. And we can indicate the severity of the sidewalk based on the different colors. So for example, 2020, we could try and hammer out all the red ones. In 2021, we could hammer out all the orange ones. In 2023, we could hammer out all the yellow ones, so on and so forth. So on top of that, as part of the proposal is doing a pedestrian ramp assessment too. As long as SCH is in here walking around our sidewalk system, it'd be a good opportunity to do an assessment on all of our pedestrian ramps. getting a count on them, seeing if they're up to date with the current ADA standards, getting the slopes on them, cross slope, front slope, just so we have that data, so when we need to start repairing those, we already have it, we can start budgeting for those repairs at that time. So, Public Works Committee, I originally was just gonna go for the sidewalk inventory. It was $13,310. That was kind of my initial proposal. Public Works Committee recommended going ahead and proceeding with the pedestrian ramp assessment on top of the sidewalk assessment for an additional $15,000. So it came out to,
28,310.
28,310. So I'm looking to use, $28,310 out of our sidewalk replacement in the CIP. We budget $75,000 every year to perform this work this summer. And then the remaining of it, we would use to do, our normal kind of sidewalk repairs and bad curbs, so.
That does not include accessible pedestrian signals?
Correct.
Do you know what the cost estimate on that would be?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, because I'm just thinking if they're already there doing this assessment.
Yep. So as part of the ped ramp assessment, they look at current crosswalks that we have in our city, and we have a lot of them that basically lead into high back curb, which isn't the correct thing to do. They would identify those areas that need a pedestrian ramp installed to make that crosswalk compliant with ADA standards. And then we could also do, we could have them add that too. I don't know what the cost would be on it, but to look at you're basically getting to some of the more heavily utilized crosswalks where it would need signalized pedestrian crossings. That's kind of what you're getting at, Bill.
Right, yeah, I'm just trying to see what the current standards on ADA are for signals. Are we in compliance with that?
The American Disabilities Act doesn't spell out, from what I understand, that every crosswalk has to have lighted signals. I think it's per municipality based upon, their traffic, their pedestrian counts, the car and pedestrian conflicts at that intersection, if it warrants putting up a pedestrian crossing sign.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of times you put them in areas where, there's heavy traffic, there's a playground nearby, a school to grab the attention. That's kind of the areas that you typically see those types of units.
Gotcha. And I'm just kind of asking, I guess, on a personal note, my son has low vision,
Yep.
so I'm just wondering what the current standards are on a signal end of it. Wondering if we could get some sort of numbers to what would that look like if they're already on the ground there.
Yep.
Taking a look at it, could we just add signal and how much would that be? Is that possible?
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess I don't know how you guys feel, but I would move to go back and see what the additional cost
would
of
be.
signal would be and bring it
Yeah, bring
back
it
to
back.
finance.
That's fine.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion
I'll second it.
Motion second.
To go back and check on the cost of.
of signal,
as part
signal
of the study.
review as part of the
Might
study.
as well get everything done at the same time and save money that way.
Make sure I had the motion right. Thank you.
Yep, that's fine.
So, all right, you've got 75,000 in your sidewalk and gutter repair, then what
Yep.
would you do with the rest of the money?
So we did, since I've been here, I have fielded phone calls from sidewalk panels that are busted, some curbs that are in disrepair in certain subdivisions in the city. I would basically just
You do the
complete
worst
that
ones.
list, yeah. And then make a plan for the future. It's, you walk downtown, there's a lot of curb that needs to be replaced, a lot of sidewalks that are cracked. So it's just giving the city a good base
Yeah.
and getting it on GIS so that we know and we can budget in the future. It gives us a much better understanding of what, and then, for example, what's really cool is, I don't know, it's cool to me, but on the first page here, it has a map and then it has a picture with, kind of locating that icon. So when we come time to bidding these projects, is we can select, let's say we select 50 locations based upon their overall linear feet, and we kind of have an estimate of how much that's going to cost. Instead of going out and having a contractor doing a walkthrough and going out and looking, they can just click right on this icon on our website, and they can look and they can see the condition of the sidewalks right on their desktop. So it saves me time, it saves our staff time, it saves them time, and it's more, you get more people apt to putting in a bid, which is good for the city. So It's just, it's utilizing technology that's available to us now that we have ArcGIS.
Okay.
So,
Oh, and then, okay, you were talking about ramps. So there are a lot of corners that, with sidewalks that don't have ramps?
Yeah, we're going to be surprised at how many of our pedestrian ramps don't meet current ADA standards.
Okay,
Now, that's not to say that we have to go out and replace all these all at once, because when they were installed, they were meeting the ADA standards at that time. It's only when you start to repair those roads and intersections where you have to touch
okay,
and replace the sidewalk, pedestrian ramps to the current standards, meeting the current slopes, putting in the truncated domes, so on and so forth, directing them in the right way. But at least it gives us an understanding of where we're sitting at. But like I was talking to the engineer, he says, you're gonna be surprised at how many don't meet current standards.
okay.
Anybody else? Everybody good? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Mike. Discussion and possible action on agent change for Keys Cafe and Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, Ginny, that's what, they're both requesting agent changes at this time. Everything is fine as far as the background and everything.
Background checks have been done?
Yep.
Okay.
No, well, it says pending.
Well, they'll be
background
contingent on
check.
it, I mean, they're in the process, yeah. They won't be issued until.
Okay. All right.
Move
Everybody
to
have a chance to look
approve.
at it? I'm sorry, Joyce.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion and second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I don't have anything. Future agendas, anybody? No? Motion?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.